Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out. Until you do your facts, until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all pull into the schools and all that, you know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
I mean, just like calling DEFCON on Jews and that sort of, like, do you take back any of that sort of more extreme stuff?
You know what? For all the kids that love me, all the Jewish kids that love me, I'm sorry if y'all had to hear a grown-up conversation with us screaming at each other. But we got to a point where something needed to happen. Something needed to be said. Somebody needed to say something. Now, if you're in an argument with somebody, you're not going to say everything the right way. But it got to a point where y'all ain't going to just keep running, start calling me bizarre and press for all these years. I got to a point, how many more times y'all going to call me crazy? How many more times y'all going to give me fake medication that makes me fat off of a misdiagnosis when I really have slight signs of autism from the car accident? But then y'all gave me, you said, whatever, just give them that bipolar medication. Y'all try to kill the superheroes. But we here, we alive.
But I need to put this out there and put this out there right now. The white Jews that you and I have honored and been taught all these years are God's chosen people is an absolute lie. The white Jews that you and I have honored and been taught all these years are God's chosen people is an absolute lie. They are imposters. They are fake. They are descendants of the Romans that rose up into power in between the New Testament and the Old Testament that we as Christians believe was the Dark Ages, but God was speaking. We have been duped to believe that our black family members are low-life monsters created to be slaves and nothing more than that. But the truth is the absolute opposite. They are the chosen of God. They are the chosen of Yah. And God, even the God that we say we call upon in Christianity, is coming back to redeem his people. And it makes it very clear that the nation that held his people in slavery are going to fall, much like Pharaoh fell when he
technically, Jesus was one of the colored ones. And that is not up for debate. We can argue about the existence of God all day long. We'll never know whether there is a God in heaven until it's too late for me. But if you're Christian, you believe that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. That's in the Middle East. Had he been white, that would have been the fucking miracle. Had he been white, that would have been the fucking miracle. He would have been the only white guy for 400 miles. And it would have blown people's minds. Oh, look, he's turning water into wine. He's a different color! Why is no one mentioning this? We live in the desert. The sun is always in the sky, yet somehow he's got the complexion of a fucking snowman. Whatever those are. Because the sad fact is, if Jesus was alive today, he would not get through American customs. You can be as comfortable as you want. It's still a fact. He'd get to TSA and then things would get a little bit tense. Just one of the guards being like, come on through, sir. That's great. Just take your shoes off. Put them on. Thank you very much, sir. And you, ma'am, if you could just take your belt off, that'd be great. Thank you very much. And then, if you could just hold right there, sir. Just 2 seconds. David? 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 David! Yes, Beardy McSandals. Who else? Who else would I be fucking talking about? And then Jesus would get there and they'd make him do this and he'd be like, oh, really, guys? We're doing this again? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm the Son of God.
Jews think they're superior to everyone and that everyone else has to be a slave to the Jews always.
Don't have to be. They're gonna be. They're gonna wanna be.
Okay.
It's not gonna be like
forced.
Forced. It's gonna be by free choice.
Okay. Where in the Torah does it say this, by the way?
In the Zohar.
The Zohar is not the Torah. The Talmud.
That's all. That's all.
The Zohar is not the Torah. The Talmud. The Talmud.
Zephaniah or Zephaniah, a Negro Israelite, a son of Cush. Zephaniah means Yahweh hides. Now, Zephaniah's father was named Cushi, and Cushi as an adjective, that means black. In both Hebrew, it means black, and in Greek, it means black. Now, Cushi is an affectionate term for a Negro of Ethiopian origin, derived from the biblical land of Cush. And it is an area that was alongside the Niger River. And if you actually look at ancient maps in 1736 and ancient maps in 1747 of Africa, you'll find a country called Negro Land and the Kingdom of Judah. This is of utmost importance for us to understand how Yahweh is gathering the 12 tribes that are scattered abroad. Because what actually happened is in this Gulf of Guinea in Western Africa, European slave ship holders, they were Ashkenazi slavers. They were of European origin. They were Western Mongols that had infiltrated Britain and mainly Portugal. They were the Ashkenazi slavers. They were wealthy merchant slavers that went down to the coast of Guinea. They employed Mohammedan trappers, Islamics, to go into the kingdom of Judah and Negro land and take the royal house of Judah captive in slave ships, as it's recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, and bring them over to America, and they became known today as what? African Americans.
This is Deuteronomy 28:68, and it says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships." First of all, they never went into Egypt, and even though the original Egypt dwells in Africa, the modern day Egypt today is America and Babylon. When did they go on ships to Babylon in captivity? That never happened. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you." The Ashkenazis, there's no history when they ever went into slavery, into captivity, where they were sold as bondmen and bondwomen, and they remain there to this day. So that's proof they do not fit the descriptions of the Israelites, which the Bible talks about in this precept right here. They are imposters. They are fake Jews. They are descendants of Europeans, okay? That's who they are.
You ever hear African Jews?
African Jews?
Yeah. No, right? No.
Nigga want everybody to be a Jew.
Check this out. I don't know, all right? So these are black Jews, all right? They're stranded in the middle of Ethiopia.
Black Jew. Do you know that the black man in America is Israel? That he's Jews? Do you know that?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Yes.
Black Jew. Do you know that?
What did the original Jews of London and Amsterdam actually look like? In a 1600s book entitled Travels in Holland, the Jews of Amsterdam are described in this manner. The men are most black, full of hair, and insatiably given unto women. In a 1700s book by John Mackey, a man of London, England, named Daniel, Earl of Nottingham, who happened to be the Secretary of State, is described as a tall, thin, very black man, like a Spaniard or a Jew. In an 1800s book by Robert Knox, the London Jew is described as having lips very full, mouth projecting, chin small, and the whole physiognomy, when swarthy, as it often is, has an African look. James Shapiro, a professor at Columbia University, states in his book that when Minister Robert Kirk visited a London synagogue in 1690, all 200 Jewish worshippers at the synagogue were black men.